Hi everyone and welcome to another weekly update. Now, first of all, again, apologies, it's Monday when I upload this and normally I try to do these weekly updates on Sunday. However, a lot of things happened last week. So if you saw my last weekly update, you know that I wasn't really feeling too well at that point, and I think that I mentioned I hope that this will go over quickly. Well, that didn't happen, and if you saw my post in my community tab, you know that I got the stomach flu. So luckily it only lasted a couple of days that I was very sick. But it was a little bit hectic with work and all of that stuff and with the dogs. And then this weekend I felt better, I could film again. But then yesterday my husband got sick and it started Saturday evening. He said, well, I have a little bit of a stomach ache. I knew what was going to happen. If one person in the household has the stomach flu, everybody is going to have it sooner or later. And then yesterday evening I actually wanted to film this weekly update, but then he took a turn for the worst. He was having very high fevers, basically on the verge of passing out the entire time, so I wasn't really feeling like filming. And now it seems like his fever has broken. He sometimes has an elevation, but it's not as bad as it was yesterday evening, so I'm taking this time to just quickly film this weekly update. But anyway, how's your week? I do hope that it was a little bit less hectic than mine. Now, I do have a lot of fun things to show you. First of all, book mail that I received from my friend Safina, and I will link her Instagram account down below. She does reviews of all of the books that she reads, and the majority of them are fantasy books. So if you are looking for an Instagram account to follow, I would highly recommend her. And she sent me the Son Trilogy. Yes, I am saying trilogy because she sent me all 3 books. So the first one is Shaman's Crossing, the second one is Forest Mage, and then the third one is Renegade's Magic. So these are 3 books written by Robin Hobb. Now, you know, Robin Hobb is one of my favorite authors, and I am slowly but surely making my way through her Realm of the Elderling series, which is for sure her most well-known series. But what some people don't know is that she actually has another series under her Robin Hobb pen name. This one, the Soldier's Son one, which is also fantasy, and I know that not everybody likes these, but I think that Chris over at Bookish absolutely adores this trilogy, and if I'm not mistaken, it's even more emotional than Fitz's storyline in the Realm of the Elderlings, so I'm actually very excited for this trilogy. Now, besides this, and of course, again, thank you, Safina, this was a very thoughtful gift, and you know how happy I am with these books. But besides this, I actually made progress in the Realm of the Elderlings this week, and I finished Dragonhaven, which is the second book in the Realm of the Elderlings. I listened to this one on audiobook. I actually quite like the narration, and to be honest, I don't really have an option because I have these in Dutch and the translation is horrible, so I like to listen to the English audiobooks. And then someday I want to have actually these editions of the Realm of the Elderlings, the UK paperbacks, so that I can read them physically if I want to. However, this second book in the Rainwild Chronicles I actually really enjoyed. I know that not everybody likes them, but for me, I think that they're just fine, and especially if the first and the second book you see as one big book, which was Robin Hobb's intention, I think that those tell a pretty good story, and the majority of things happen in the second book, so I can see why maybe the first one is not that likable. Also, the main character in these books is quite young, she's very stubborn, and sometimes she just likes to make the world difficult for her and her life difficult because she can just not be as stubborn and try to help others and just move along with what other people are saying, even if you don't really agree with them. And I think that her life would be a lot easier. But all of the other characters I actually like quite a bit. And even her storyline, even though she's not the most likable character, I do think that she's realistic and I do find it interesting. And the second book ended on a note that I want to see what happens in the third one. So I'm actually quite enjoying this series so far. Then, because I was sick, I didn't really make as much progress as I wanted to in The Justice of Kings by Richard Swan. So this is, of course, the first book in the Empire of the Wolf series, and I'm only halfway through, I'm 200 pages in. I'm really enjoying this one, but I couldn't really read physically while I was sick. And now I finally have this one on ebook, so now I can read it a lot easier. But so far I'm liking it. I really like how this Justice character, he's not really likable, but he is very fair. And we're not really following him very closely. Well, we are following him very closely, but the character from whose POV that we're seeing everything is actually his clerk. So yes, I'm really enjoying this book so far, and I do hope to finish this one in the next couple of days, because now that I'm better, I still have 200 pages to read. This should not take me more than a couple of days. But, well, for next week, I'm actually going to Paris. I'm going to leave Saturday morning and then come back Sunday evening. And when I'm in Paris, I'm going with a couple of friends. They don't read. I don't think that I will be reading over that weekend. So I have decided to not put too many books on my schedule this week. And because of that, I just put a couple of smaller books that I think I will be able to finish before the weekend. So of course, I will finish Justice of Kings first of all. Then as an audiobook, I'm now listening to The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. So if you don't know, I read Circe last year. I read that one physically. And I quite enjoyed it. It was not really a book that I loved, but I enjoyed it and I really liked the writing style. So for The Song of Achilles, since I do have it on audiobook, I'm listening to it. And from the start, I can immediately see that it starts actually quite similar to Circe. So for now, I'm really enjoying the writing style and I'm not that far in. I'm only a couple of pages in, but I'm actually listening to this one as a buddy read over on Mike's Discord, so Mike's book reviews, and I think that Lola over at Tokyo Reads is actually hosting this one, so I will link the Discord if you want to join us. But yeah, I'm having high hopes and it's a very short audiobook. I'm always listening on 2x speed and then it's less than 6 hours, so I think that I will be able to finish that one this week. And then the physical book that I will pick up after The Justice of Kings is also a small one, and that is Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. So this is a new release, I just picked it up. It's an original fairy tale, it's a little bit dark with some humor because you have a demon-possessed chicken, for instance. And if I'm not mistaken, here we follow a younger princess and her older sister is married to a very abusive husband. So she contacts a witch asking, like, how can I turn this around? How can I make this better for all of us? And the witch gives her a task. She needs to do 3 things, I think, and she has the help of this demon-possessed chicken and a lot of things down the road. So I think this will be funny, but also has its darker moments, and it's only 300-ish pages, so I also think that I will be able to finish this before the weekend starts. And I'm really looking forward to going to Paris. I've been there once, because, of course, Belgium, it's next to France, so it's not really that long of a trip. I think that we're going by train. I don't arrange these kinds of things if you're not aware yet. I just go along and I let other people arrange this for me and I'm happy to tag along. So I don't really know. I think that we're going by train and I think that we will arrive in the morning. And I think that we will also have a hotel room. Yes. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to that. Paris is a lovely city and I think that I will be quite tired when we get home. Now, of course, another thing that will happen because I go to Paris over the weekend is that the weekly update next week will also again be Monday. And at this point, it's more often Monday than it is in the weekend. These are just things that happen, I suppose. So what happened last week on the channel? So because everything that happened, I only had one video that went live, and that was of course my April wrap-up. Now I was quite happy with that because I did finish 8 books and they differed in quality, but overall I quite enjoyed all of them. I didn't have a DNF, so I was happy with that. And if you haven't seen that video yet, of course, I will link it in the description box down below. But other than that, I didn't really have a video going up. Now for next week, again, I don't batch film. And I think that I've talked about this before, but I've tried this numerous times. I just can't do it. So I don't really know what will happen next weekend, because usually I do try. Doesn't always work, but I try to have a video up on Wednesday and on Saturday. And usually when you see a video of me, it's not always, but that's like the me 2 hours prior of that video. Like now, for instance, it's 6 in the evening and you will hopefully see this video in an hour go up. So I don't really batch film, I don't film up front. I will try to do that now, or this week at the very least, so we do have a video going up on Saturday, but I'm not quite sure. I do know that I have quite a few reviews of firsts of a series that I need to put out. One of them, for example, is Priest of Bones by Peter McLean that I want to have a review of. Prince of Thorns by Mark Lawrence I want to review. There are a couple of other ones as well that I just didn't have the time for prior, so I do hope that I can make those in the next couple of weeks and then have one review per week coming out. I still have that Way of Kings reading vlog that I could probably edit before Saturday and then upload it then. Editing is not my strong suit and a vlog is also always a lot of editing, so I like to postpone that as much as possible, but maybe this is the week to do it. And then besides that, I also want to put out a grimdark book recommendations list or a myth recommendations list, and that can be everything from Greek to Norse to Indian myths, all of that. So I do have a couple of things that I want to put out next week. We will have to see if I finally succeed in actually batch film and filming up front and editing up front, or if what happens most of the time, I just fail at that and then you will just have the video on Wednesday. Don't really know what that is. You can always leave some recommendations in the description box down below. So I think that that's actually the most important thing that I wanted to say. As always, I hope that you really enjoyed your last week and I hope that next week will be very enjoyable for you as well. If you haven't seen my April wrap-up video, I will link that one right here. As always, I hope that you enjoyed this video and see you next time. Bye!